Hey, what's up you guys? Dom here from JoJo Productions, and I know that it has been a really long time since you've seen me. I will explain later in future videos, but right now let's get to the main topic of the video. So today I want to talk about essential things that every beginner filmmaker should have. If you could only have these few things, you know, in your whole entire career, these are things that every filmmaker should have. Not just beginners, but every filmmaker should have these things. Alright, to start off the list, I think every filmmaker should have a tripod. Tripods are extremely useful. They obviously stabilize the camera. You can do a lot of things with these tripods, but if you want to get good cinematic video, I think that you should have a tripod. Preferably one with a fluid ball head, or no, just a fluid head, video head as I like to call it, because you can do pans and tilts really smoothly, basically. So a tripod, definitely should get one. The second thing that every filmmaker should have is obviously a camera. If you're gonna do film, especially if you want to be a camera operator like myself, you should probably have a camera so you can practice. But every filmmaker should have a camera. Whether it takes video or stills, it doesn't matter, because as long as you can use it for video, you should have the camera. Now I say that filmmakers should have a stills camera, even if that's all it does is stills, because understanding what the scene looks like is just as important in a still as it is a video, because I think that also is going to, you know, shooting stills is a different way of telling stories, basically. It doesn't necessarily have to be with video. Stills is obviously another way to tell your story. So that's why I think every filmmaker should have a camera that can take video or stills or both. In this case, I have a D7200 which does both because I love taking stills, but I also really like doing video. Okay, let's take a look at this little camera. This is a 4K camera. This is the Lumix G7. It does shoot 4K like I said, but it has a smaller sensor compared to the D7200. The D7200 has what we call a crop sensor, which in the Nikon terms is a 1.5x crop from a full frame. Now what this crop sensor, the bigger crop sensor from the D7200 is going to allow, is it's going to allow a shallower depth of field, and it's also going to allow better low light performance. But that doesn't mean that this little Panasonic Lumix G7 won't get the job done, because it can. You can get adapters and you can get specific lenses that will help with low light and shallow depth of field. I love this camera. I have done a lot with it. I've done commercial shoots, I've done music videos, short films, I've done it all with this little camera. Haven't done a feature film yet though. I think that would definitely be something that I should definitely do. Try out a feature film. I love this little camera, again, because just like the D7 or 5200 that you're watching me on, it has the tilty flippy screen, and actually what's cool about this one is a touch screen, so I love it. Alright, the third essential thing that I think you should definitely have in your camera bag, lighting. So I think lights are extremely important, because a lot of filmmakers don't understand that lighting is also how you create a mood, it's how you get your look. So lighting is just as important as the camera. I have here a newer 304. CN 304, my bad. Now the 304, or wait, what is it? Yep, 304 just stands for how many LED bulbs are on this light. The ones that are lighting me right now are newer CN 160s. They are both fantastic little lights too. What's amazing is actually I got these lights from a video from Caleb off of DSLR Shooter. And all three of these lights, this is the bigger one of the three, by the way. All three lights, these all costed about $250, which is awesome. And one of my favorite things about these lights is it has this little thing. I don't know if you can see that. Hold on. Maybe you can kind of sort of see it? Okay, yeah, there it is. See that little light going on? That is the battery level. I think this is extremely helpful. It's really useful. What's also cool about the bigger one is it's got an AC cable or adapter where you can put the AC cable in. So that's awesome. These lights are absolutely, fantastic. See, you turn it on there, it's got a, back switch. It's extremely bright. It's even a dimmable, so yeah, see what I mean? Really, it's just stupid bright. Look at that, I'm pointing it up at the ceiling, it's just lighting the whole room. Okay, so lighting, again, really, really important. Definitely need to get it. You can get lights pretty cheap nowadays. I do recommend getting the little lighting kit that I have here. You get 3 lights. Check out Caleb from DSLR Guide. Check out his video to get these lights. And now the last thing that you should get is definitely some form of stabilization that is not a tripod. For example, here I have a slider. I love this thing. I use it all the time. If there was one thing that I could take, well actually 2, if there are 2 things that I could take to a shoot, it would be my slider and my big old fat tripod that's sitting outside of the frame. So yeah, that is exceptionally important to have some sort of stabilization, especially if you're going for a more cinematic look. As you can see, it slides back and forth. Yay, it works. Another little piece of stabilization. This is called the glide cam. I love glide cams. This is so you can walk around and stuff and get really smooth footage. A lot of people are using like Ronins and other stuff like that, but I definitely like the old school approach with glide cams. The last and most important thing you should get is audio. Doesn't matter how good your footage looks, it's gonna suck if you don't have good audio. You wanna be able to hear what's going on. It helps you engage, basically. So if your audio sounds like crap, people will probably turn off your video. Now what I have is a Zoom H4n Pro. I absolutely love it. This is actually my second one because my first one got stolen, unfortunately. But I think audio is so important if you are going to tell the story and if you want people to be engaged. So what I am going to do is I'm going to show you a little clip of me walking inside my apartment. You will first hear one with the DSLR audio straight off camera. Ooh, Jesus. It is cold. There we go, get the door shut. Alright. Okay, so as you can tell, doesn't sound too great. You can hear a bunch of excess noise, a bunch of hissing. You can just hear everything that, it just kind of takes away from it. All the background noise, there's, the cars, and there's everything else. Now let's take a listen with the audio from my Zoom H4n Pro. Ooh, Jesus. It is cold. There we go, get the door shut. Alright. Okay, as you can tell, it was a much better, a lot clearer, a lot cleaner. Sounds more like you're actually watching a short film, right? Or at least it's kind of sounding professional, right? Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that video. Again, let's recap. So I think you need a camera, you need some form of stabilization. Let's start off with a tripod if you're first starting off. Then you can get the sliders or the Ronins or whatever. Secondly, I think you should probably get some lighting. That's extremely important. Again, it will help you tell your story, help you set the mood of whatever your scene is. And then, of course, most importantly, audio and camera. You don't necessarily have to spend a fortune. My D5200, it was like a $400 body. It's really cheap. It was in really good condition. Actually, I think I bought it new. I bought the D5200 new. And then again, audio is so important. Please do not cheap out on audio. It's just as important as the visuals. Again, I'm using the Zoom H4n Pro. You can get a Zoom H1n. It's actually pretty new, and it's 120 bucks, and it gets the job done. And I think anything is better than the audio of the DSLR. All right, so thank you so much for watching. If this video helped, if you enjoyed it, please give it a big thumbs up. If you loved it, please subscribe. And until then, I will see you guys next time. Bye.